Do you want to find out how long a full basket of charcoal, 17 pounds worth of charcoal, will last in the Oklahoma Joe's Marshal Centerbox? Let's find out together today here on Dream It, Make It. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, Dream It, Make It. Today, we're gonna find out how long a full basket of charcoal will last in the Oklahoma Joe's Marshal Centerbox. The way we're gonna get this set up is we are going to first, I really hate these little pull strings. Do y'all hate those things? We're gonna get the bag opened up. I do have this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this charcoal into the basket here. And they say it holds 17 pounds. This basket, or this bag of charcoal, is 17.6 pounds of charcoal. So should be able to get just about all of it in here. Oh, gotta run away. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and light it from this side over here in one corner in hopes that it'll slowly burn across this way. I'm gonna see how the burn pattern works, and that's also gonna determine how in the future I set up any wood chunks if I'm running wood chunks. Now, this is probably not gonna be my all the time method in the Marshal. I think what I'll really do is probably get a smaller amount of charcoal in the basket, and then I will add a wood split to it and run it that way, kind of similar to the way I would run an offset. That's my hopes in how I'm going to run this, but we will see. This is new. I want to find out the best method for me. That way we can learn from my mistakes, and you don't have to make those mistakes if you don't want to. I encourage you to try all the different ways to cook on your smokers. I want you to figure out what works best for you, because what works best for me may not work best for you. So go ahead and try different things out, and if you've got any suggestions, leave them down in the comments, so that way I can go ahead and maybe get a head start to this Marshal Centerbox, because I want to get to cooking food. In fact, it's kind of sad. I was gonna go ahead and cook something alongside this today, but due to wanting to learn the smoker and not waste any food, I am not gonna do that. I think it's perfectly fine if you do, you know, during this process when you're trying things out to cook something. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and just get this on. I wanna see how it burns. I wanna see how long a full basket will last. And so that's what we're gonna do today. So let's get going. All right, so let's go ahead and get this charcoal into the smoker. Man, I absolutely love the Oklahoma Joe's workstation because it has everything I need in it organized, like my tumbleweeds. I thought I was gonna have to run all the way inside, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, I'll organize my workstation. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do is I'm going to place the tumbleweed right here in the front corner, make a little space for it. Gonna light it up. Going to slide this back into the smoker. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave that door open for not too long, but I am gonna go ahead and shut down the lid and make sure that my exhaust vents are fully opened. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna start letting the temperature rise. And as it starts to creep up to about 225, I'm gonna start dialing those dampers back a little. That way we can get this temp dialed in. Now this again is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me, because first time actually trying to dial in the temps to a specific temperature. So hang with me, we'll get it dialed in. I'll let you know what works, what doesn't work, and let's see how long this charcoal lasts. All right, so I went ahead and put another tumbleweed in there that you are seeing right now, and that is because this chamber is so much bigger than what I'm used to in lighting this kind of style of fire in like the Oklahoma Joe's Bronco. So I went ahead and added a second. We're gonna get more of those coals lit up, still in that same corner like you see, but I don't want this Marshal Centerbox to take too long to get fired up. I want it to get heated up pretty quickly, and to get that heated up, I think we needed another Tumbleweed in there to get this lit up and going. And so if you're coming from a Oklahoma Joe's Bronco and you're getting this Marshal, be mindful of that. It's way bigger. It's going to take it some more time to get heated up. Now let me check in on this fire real quick. Okay, so the Tumbleweed is still burning. I'm not going to shut the door until that Tumbleweed is fully done burning. Once that Tumbleweed is done, then I'll get the door shut, make sure that vent is fully open. That way we can get some airflow in here. All right, so I wanted to show you a hack real quick that I have found on the Oklahoma Joe's Marshal Centerbox, and that is this hook right here is perfect for holding the door. It's just the hook that picks up the grates, and you hook it onto the little hook right here, hook it onto the door, holds that door open perfectly, especially when your smoker is uneven like mine is. It's a little like this, and so we're gonna go ahead and keep the door open. If I don't have that hook on there, the door shuts down, and that's not what we want. So little hack there, hopefully that'll help you out. Use that to your advantage. All right, so the Tumbleweed is finally about to burn out. I am gonna go ahead and close this door up real quick. I did go ahead and leave the dampener open on the door and got the exhaust opened up like I said earlier. So now let's get these needles up to 225, 250. I'll check back with you here in just a little bit. We'll find out how long this lasts. Okay, so I want to go ahead and update you on a few things. I went ahead and I ended up having to open the firebox to get the smoker up to temp because it was taking so long to get up there. I waited for about 20 minutes going the other route, and it was just pushing like 120 as the ambient temp. I'm using my Inkbird thermometer, and I've got it sitting on the first shelf at the lowest level. And so that way we can monitor those temps. It's showing right now 244, and this is showing 200. That is my differences. These are pretty close, and then of course, grate level in there is showing that 248. I've got my thermometer to alert me if it goes to 250 so that I can try to get it back down a little, because I want to run between 225 and 250. But like I said, I had to go ahead and open that firebox so that way we could get those temps up. Once I opened that firebox, the temperatures rose within 10 minutes. So it took me about 30 minutes to get this up to temp to 225, and it did overshoot it. I let it overshoot it because once it hit 225, I tried to dial it back and get it all set in, and as soon as I did, the temps started plummeting really fast, like when I shut that door. And so I let it come up to about 250, 255, somewhere in there, and then I started to shut the door and let it start to settle down. It settled down to about 245, and I went ahead and adjusted these vents down even more so that way we could get that dialed in just a little lower. I'm trying to get it closer down to the 225 mark. I also added a small little wood chunk in there on top of that fire, so that way I could see exactly how it's going to run, adding the smoke flavor into the mix. And so, because that is going to catch fire, and that is going to affect the temperatures and the way that the coals burn. So I did want to go ahead and add that. I added right where it's burning. I'll continue to check on that. Once the coals start burning across, I'll add another chunk in that area so that way we can continue that wood flavor. That is the benefit to the Marshal. Unlike the Bronco, you have to set all your wood chunks up in advance. With the Marshal, you can put your wood chunks in as you go. If that one burns down completely and there's still coals right in that area, you can go ahead and add another one to that so that you continue to get that smoke flavor. So that's a really sweet option. That's one of the main reasons I was interested in the Marshal, like I've mentioned in previous videos. Speaking of previous videos, I do have one where I go through and I talk about why this thing is so interesting to me. And then I also go through another video where I season this up and get it ready to smoke on. This is the third video of the series where I'm finding out how long a basket of charcoal will last. So hang with me, and if these videos interest you and you're interested in the Marshal Centerbox, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so that way, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of those videos, because I got a lot coming out. I am definitely going to be cooking on this very soon, possibly even today. We'll just see how today goes. It's really cloudy. I'm hoping we don't get any rain, even though we need the rain, but I really need to get this broke in, so we'll see how it goes. Hang with me. We'll get to the end of this video very soon, and we'll find out how long this basket of charcoal lasts. All right, so I think my mic died, so if you see some footage of me talking and my lips and words are not synced up to me doing some things on the smoker, that's because it died, and I'm now going to talk and let you know what I was doing when the mic possibly died. So I went ahead and added a water pan to the smoker because the temperatures would not drop below 350 no matter what I did. I have the exhaust nearly shut all the way. I have the intake nearly shut all the way. Nothing was bringing that temp down below 350. So what I've gone ahead and done is put the water pan in there, filled up the water pan. It's a good one. Pretty much takes up most of the grill grate area. And so we've got that water pan in there. Now that it's in there, we're running right around 250, which is perfect barbecue weather on a smoker like this. Same with the Bronco. The Bronco thrives at 250. You can run it at 225, but it thrives at 250 and makes great barbecue at that 250 mark. So this right here, this is a good option. Filling that basket up with a bunch of charcoal, there's no slowing down how that charcoal is going to burn. And so you can get a bunch of charcoal burning at one time, which is going to produce a bunch of heat, which is then going to translate to those high temperatures, that 350, 400 degree temperature when that basket's full. Also, I've been using the Inkbird thermometer like I showed you earlier. This is a 5 meat probe thermometer with a 6 probe for ambient temperature. It really helps in figuring out what's going on in the chamber, because these have been showing I'm cooking at 300. And so it's about 50 degrees off, even when it was lower. When the temperatures were down around the 300 mark on my Inkbird, this was showing 250. So you can be thinking that you're cooking at 250, but really you're blasting that meat at 300. And so you don't want to do that. I suggest some type of ambient temperature probe inside the chamber to monitor that ambient temperature. With that being said, we're going to continue to let this go. It's at the 5-hour mark. That basket is, you saw how full that basket is. I think we're going to make it to at least 7 hours, possibly 8. Who knows? We may even make it to 9. So, but it's running at 250. Once this drops down and it does not stay above 225, I will call it. This will be done, and now we just continue to wait. But I wanted to update you on the changes that I've made. All right, so I'm out here, got my cell phone out, and gonna wrap up this video here. I do have the time of how long it lasted, and but real quick, so the charcoal got down to where it would no longer keep the chamber up to temp to 225, having the exhaust and the intake fully open, and it died off. And so there was enough coals in there that I thought I'm gonna go ahead and throw a wood split in there just to see how that burns with just the little coals and some woods and a single wood split. And it looks like it's gonna hold about 220. Still got that water pan in there, and still has water in it. And so running the coals with the wood split in it, it's running really nicely. I kind of like this method. It's a lot like the offset method that I run, except for no V. The time frame that the coals lasted was 7 hours. After 7 hours, there was no keeping it above 225 anymore. And again, those temperatures were burning pretty hot for like at least 5.5 hours. It was at that extremely high temperatures. So that is where this ended, was the 7 hour mark. I've got some more testing to do, some more theories on this smoker, and even more important than all of those, I'm gonna get some food on this thing and finally cook and see what kind of flavors we can get off of this. Let me turn this off. It's telling me it's right around that 225 mark. So I've got all of that in the works, so be looking for those videos very, very soon. And I've got an empty spot here in the smoke shed also. That is for a new smoker about to come to the channel here very soon. Pretty excited about that one. I just got to put it together, and that takes a little time. And from what I hear, this one is going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm going to get that put together, get it in that spot right there, and then I'll have the Marshall, and then I'll have the new smoker that's going to go right there. I'll have a Bronco right here, Longhorn reverse flow right there, and then over here is the Ryder DLX 900. So lots of smokers, lots of content. Gonna still be using every one of the smokers that I have. Oh, I have and of course I've got the Rambler also put away. So all of these smokers will be used on the channel regularly. I'll be using them a lot. So don't, if you're like, oh, he's getting another smoker, he's not gonna be smoking on the one that I have, don't worry, I will still be smoking on all of my smokers, and I've got several videos planned out. I will be launching these videos very soon. So if you like this video and you found it helpful, hit the like, subscribe, and get outside and make some crazy good barbecue.